What if I told you that every power move, every relationship, every job promotion was based on hidden laws? Laws that few people understand. Today we're uncovering the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, a guide to mastering the subtle, often ruthless rules of influence and success. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're interested in learning strategies that can level up your life, career, and relationships. This channel is dedicated to giving you the tools you need to succeed. Law 1. Never outshine the master. Think about your workplace. Have you ever impressed your boss so much that they started giving you the cold shoulder? That's because outshining your superior can make them feel insecure. Take the case of Nicolas Fouquet, the finance minister to King Louis XIV. He threw a lavish party to impress the king, but instead overshadowed him. As a result, Fouquet was imprisoned for life. Today's world is highly competitive, and we often believe the way to rise is by showing off. But Greene argues that sometimes it's smarter to hold back and make your boss feel superior. Next time you're tempted to show all your skills, ask yourself, am I helping myself or threatening those above me? Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Friends are supposed to be our allies, right? Greene suggests otherwise. In Law 2, he argues that friends can betray us, while enemies may actually be more useful. Cesare Borgia, the infamous Italian nobleman, employed his enemy, Ramiro de Orco, to restore order in a rebellious province. Once Orco succeeded, Borgia executed him publicly, using him as a scapegoat to increase his own power. Have you ever trusted a friend only to have them let you down? Maybe it's time to reconsider who you rely on. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Transparency might be praised in today's world, but when it comes to power, Greene warns against revealing too much. Law 3 tells us to keep our cards close to the chest. During the Renaissance, Catherine de' Medici often hid her ambitions under a mask of religious piety and patience, which allowed her to outmaneuver her political enemies. In a time when oversharing on social media is the norm, the idea of concealing intentions may feel counterintuitive, but there's power in mystery. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Have you ever been in a meeting where someone talks too much and you just tune them out? That's exactly why Law 4 urges us to say less. When you speak too much, you risk exposing your weaknesses. Consider the philosopher Lao Tzu, who believed silence was a form of power. By saying less, you not only avoid mistakes, but also create intrigue. In your next conversation, try holding back a little. Watch how people lean in, curious to hear what you didn't say. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. In the age of social media, one tweet or post can destroy a person's reputation overnight. Greene emphasizes that reputation is everything, and you must protect it at all costs. Look at celebrities who have faced public scandals. Recovering from a tarnished reputation can take years, if it happens at all. Your reputation isn't just about your job, it's your personal brand. Guard it carefully because once damaged, it's nearly impossible to repair. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. Getting attention is more valuable today than ever before. In a crowded digital world, being noticed, even for the wrong reasons, can elevate your status. Elon Musk is a prime example. Whether through his bold Twitter statements or controversial decisions at Tesla, Musk courts attention and uses it to maintain his influence. What bold moves can you make to stand out from the crowd without crossing the line? Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. This law may sound ruthless, but it's about leveraging the skills of others to get ahead while ensuring you receive recognition. Steve Jobs was a master at this. He often took credit for the innovations his team produced, but it was his vision and ability to bring the ideas together that made him iconic. Think about ways you can delegate tasks while ensuring you're still the one recognized for the overall success. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Power is about control. By making others come to you, you subtly shift the balance of power in your favor. Example: Napoleon Bonaparte used this technique brilliantly, often letting his enemies make the first move and then responding with strategic precision. Instead of always initiating, try making others take the first step. You'll find yourself in a stronger position. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Arguing rarely changes minds. Instead, Greene suggests that actions speak louder and carry more influence. Imagine you're in a heated debate. Rather than trying to win through endless words, Greene encourages you to show your point through decisive action. Next time you feel the urge to argue, stop. Show your position through action instead. Law 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Negative energy is contagious. Greene warns us to avoid people who bring misfortune or negativity into our lives. Surrounding yourself with positive, motivated people is crucial, especially in a world where anxiety and stress are all too common. Are there people in your life who might be dragging you down without you even realizing it? Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. When people rely on you, they can't easily remove you from the equation. Power comes from being indispensable. Henry Kissinger mastered this during his tenure as Secretary of State, making himself crucial to both domestic and foreign policy. How can you make yourself more indispensable at work or in your personal relationships? Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Greene suggests that occasional acts of honesty or generosity can disarm people and make them more susceptible to your influence. Example, think of corporate philanthropy. Companies often make grand charitable gestures to gain the public's trust, even while pursuing their own interests. Try giving more, but strategically. Use generosity to build trust while keeping your long-term goals in mind. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to self-interest, never to mercy or gratitude. When seeking help, frame your request in a way that benefits the other person. Appeals to gratitude or mercy often fall flat. Benjamin Franklin used this technique. By asking rivals to lend him books, he appealed to their sense of importance and built strong relationships. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Information is power. Greene advises that while you should appear friendly and trustworthy, you should always be gathering intelligence from those around you. Example, during the Cold War, both the US and Soviet Union employed spies to gain an edge. These spies would often pose as friendly allies, all while extracting valuable information. In a world dominated by social media and personal branding, how often do you think people present a false front, hiding their true intentions? Are there ways you can gather information more strategically in your own life? Whether it's at work or in personal relationships, knowledge gives you an upper hand. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. When you leave an enemy standing, you give them the chance to come back and retaliate. Greene suggests that if you engage in battle, you must destroy your enemy completely. In ancient Rome, Julius Caesar famously declared, "I came, I saw, I conquered." His strategy was to completely obliterate his enemies, leaving no room for future threats. Have you ever left something unresolved, only to have it come back to haunt you? Greene's advice here is to eliminate threats decisively. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. In a world where we're constantly connected, sometimes stepping back and being unavailable can increase your value. Example, think of celebrities who suddenly disappear from the spotlight only to return with massive public interest. By creating scarcity, they increase their allure. Is there an area of your life where you might be too available? Could taking a step back enhance your value in the eyes of others? Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Predictability makes you easy to manipulate. By keeping people on their toes, you make it harder for them to control or anticipate your actions. Napoleon was famous for his unpredictable strategies in battle, which often left his enemies guessing. His unpredictability gave him a tactical advantage. In today's highly structured world, unpredictability can be a breath of fresh air, but it can also make you seem dangerous to those who want to control you. What would happen if you introduced an element of unpredictability in your life? How would that shift the power dynamics around you? Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. It's tempting to retreat when you feel threatened, but Greene warns that isolation can make you vulnerable. Example: in the business world, companies that isolate themselves from trends and innovation often fall behind. By isolating yourself, you miss out on valuable information and alliances. Are you isolating yourself out of fear or insecurity? Could opening up to new connections actually protect you more than staying closed off? Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. This law is about emotional intelligence. Not everyone reacts the same way to a challenge, and offending the wrong person could lead to disaster. Think of business titans like Steve Jobs, who knew how to push the right buttons to get what he wanted but also avoided challenging certain powerful individuals. In today's cancel culture, one wrong move can cause irreversible damage. Being aware of the personalities around you is crucial to maintaining power. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. Greene advises us not to become too attached or loyal to one person or cause. By keeping your options open, you maintain flexibility. Example: during the French Revolution, diplomat Charles Maurice de Talleyrand remained neutral and switched sides as needed, ensuring his survival and success. Are there areas in your life where you've committed too much? Could holding back give you the leverage to pivot when necessary? Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Appear dumber than your mark. Sometimes the smartest move is to play dumb. By appearing less intelligent than you are, you can lower your opponent's guard. Legendary con artists have used this technique for centuries, allowing their targets to think they have the upper hand while secretly controlling the situation. Is there a time in your life when playing the fool might give you the advantage? Law 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. Surrendering doesn't always mean defeat. In fact, it can often be a way to regroup and come back stronger. Example: in warfare, generals sometimes surrender strategically to buy time or to lure their enemies into a false sense of security. Is there a battle in your life where surrendering temporarily could actually help you win the war? Law 23. Concentrate your forces. Greene advises focusing your energy and resources on one strong point rather than spreading yourself too thin. Example: John D. Rockefeller built his fortune by concentrating on oil, while others tried to diversify too quickly and lost their focus. In a world full of distractions, where are you spreading yourself too thin? Could focusing on one area help you achieve more success? Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. Success often comes not from what you do, but from how well you navigate power dynamics. In royal courts throughout history, courtiers who flattered and maneuvered skillfully often held more influence than kings themselves. At work or in your social circle, how can you play the courtier and gain influence through subtle manipulation of relationships? Law 25. Recreate yourself. Don't accept the roles society assigns you. By recreating yourself, you take control of your identity. Madonna has recreated her image multiple times throughout her career, staying relevant by constantly evolving. Are there areas of your life where you've allowed others to define you? How can you take back control and recreate yourself? Law 26. Keep your hands clean. Appear above reproach even if you have to get your hands dirty behind the scenes. Keeping a spotless public image is crucial. Example: politicians often use proxies to do their dirty work while maintaining a clean public image. This allows them to stay in power without tarnishing their reputation. In a world where reputation is everything, it's more important than ever to appear clean while managing things behind the scenes. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. People need to believe in something bigger than themselves. By tapping into this need, you can create a devoted following. Example: leaders like Steve Jobs inspired almost cult-like devotion to their vision of the future, which made their companies incredibly powerful. How can you create a vision that inspires others to follow you, whether it's at work or in your personal life? Law 28. Enter action with boldness. Boldness attracts attention and shows confidence. People respect those who take decisive action. Alexander the Great was known for his boldness in battle, which earned him not only victories but also the loyalty of his soldiers. In your own life, are you acting boldly enough to get noticed? Sometimes it's better to make a bold move than to play it safe. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. Greene teaches us that successful power players don't just think about the immediate next step. They plan their entire strategy all the way to the final outcome. Example: Julius Caesar's entire conquest of Gaul was part of a long-term strategy to elevate himself to the position of dictator for life. He didn't just react to short-term victories. Each move was part of a larger plan. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the moment and forget the bigger picture. But those who plan for the long haul are the ones who succeed. Think about your life. Are you reacting to things as they come, or do you have a long-term vision? What's your end game? Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. No one respects someone who looks like they're struggling. Greene argues that the most powerful people make their accomplishments appear easy. Example: consider Michael Jordan's basketball career. He was known for making impossible shots look effortless, which only added to his legend. Behind the scenes, of course, were countless hours of practice, but he never let the public see the effort. In a culture obsessed with the grind and hustle, this law may seem counterintuitive, but the truth is, people admire those who seem naturally gifted more than those who openly struggle. How can you present your successes in a way that makes them seem effortless? Sometimes showing less effort increases your perceived power. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards. You deal. The ultimate form of control is when you make people believe they have a choice while you control all the options. Example: Henry Ford famously said, "You can have any color car as long as it's black." He gave his customers an illusion of choice while controlling the actual outcome. Are there situations in your life where you could present people with choices that still lead to your desired outcome? Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. People are often driven by dreams and fantasies, not harsh realities. Greene advises that if you can tap into their fantasies, you can control them. The entertainment industry thrives on this principle. Think of the massive success of Disney, a company that has built an empire by playing to people's fantasies of magical worlds and happy endings. In a world that's often harsh, people long for escape. By offering them a vision of something better, you create loyalty and influence. How can you tap into the fantasies of those around you? Whether it's in business, personal relationships, or even self-presentation, catering to dreams can be a powerful tool. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a weakness, a pressure point. The key to gaining influence over others is finding that weakness and subtly using it to your advantage. Example: in politics, opposition research often uncovers a politician's thumbscrew, a personal scandal or vulnerability that can be used against them. In your own life, have you identified the key motivations or vulnerabilities of those around you? Knowing these can give you the upper hand in negotiations and relationships. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. People will treat you according to the way you present yourself. Greene encourages you to act with confidence and self-assurance, as if you are royalty. In history, people like Napoleon Bonaparte were able to command immense respect, not because of their birthright, but because they presented themselves with authority and acted like kings. How do you carry yourself in your daily life? If you start acting like someone who deserves respect, people will start giving it to you. Law 35. Master the art of timing. Timing is everything. Those who know when to act and when to wait always hold the advantage. Example: Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, built his fortune by knowing when to buy and, just as importantly, when to hold off. His ability to wait for the right moment is a masterclass in timing. Are there areas of your life where you're rushing or perhaps waiting too long? Mastering timing can be the difference between success and failure. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. Greene teaches that by refusing to acknowledge something you can't have, you strip it of its power over you. In politics, ignoring insults or challenges can sometimes be more powerful than addressing them head-on. By ignoring, you show that the opposition isn't even worth your time. Next time someone tries to drag you into an argument or drama, try ignoring it. You may find that disdaining it makes you seem even more powerful. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. People are drawn to grand displays. By creating spectacle, you can capture attention and keep people focused on you. Example: think of modern-day concerts or political rallies. Leaders and celebrities use spectacle to inspire awe and loyalty from their followers. In your own life, how can you create moments that capture people's attention and leave a lasting impact? Law 38. Think as you like but behave like others. It's tempting to stand out by behaving differently, but Greene advises us to blend in. Thinking differently is fine, but acting too differently can make others uncomfortable. During the Renaissance, many intellectuals had radical ideas but kept them hidden to avoid persecution. They thought outside the box, but behaved in ways that kept them safe. In your own life, where can you adopt this strategy? Perhaps in work or social situations where standing out too much might actually be a disadvantage. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. When people are emotionally charged, they're easier to manipulate. By stirring the waters, you can unsettle your rivals and get them to act impulsively. Example: political campaigns often stir emotions to distract voters from more logical considerations, using fear or outrage to sway opinions. Next time you're in a tense situation, consider how you might stir up emotions to throw your competitors off balance. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. Nothing in life is truly free. Greene advises that you should be wary of any situation where something is offered at no cost. Throughout history, free offers have often been used to trap people into obligations or loyalty. A seemingly generous gift always has strings attached. Are there areas in your life where you're relying on something free? Consider the hidden costs before accepting it. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. It's tempting to follow in the footsteps of those who came before us, but Greene warns that comparisons will often hurt you. It's better to carve your own path. Example: the successors of great leaders often struggle to live up to their legacy, such as the U.S. presidents who followed iconic leaders like George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. In a world where imitation is often praised, Greene argues for the importance of originality. Don't be the second version of someone else. Be the first version of yourself. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. If you want to defeat a group, you must first take out its leader. Example: in military strategy, commanders often aim for the leaders of the enemy forces, knowing that once the leader is gone, the group falls apart. In your own life, if you're facing opposition, think about who is leading the charge. Could removing that person, figuratively speaking, bring the group to collapse? Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Influence isn't just about actions, it's about winning people over emotionally. By working on the hearts and minds of others, you can secure their loyalty. During his time as a leader, Nelson Mandela focused on reconciliation and understanding, winning the hearts and minds of both supporters and former enemies. Are you focusing too much on the logical side of persuasion? Consider how you can appeal to emotions and deeper desires to build stronger connections. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. The mirror effect involves reflecting back the actions or attitudes of your adversaries, confusing or disarming them in the process. Example: Mahatma Gandhi used non-violent resistance, reflecting the British Empire's oppressive tactics back onto themselves, to disarm his adversaries and inspire change. Next time you face aggression or conflict, try reflecting back the behavior of your adversary. You may find it throws them off their game. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. People fear too much change too quickly. Greene advises that while you can advocate for reform, do it slowly to avoid backlash. Example: many political leaders who have introduced sweeping reforms, like Mikhail Gorbachev with Perestroika, faced intense resistance because the changes came too quickly for people to adjust. Are there areas in your life where you're pushing for change too fast? How can you slow it down to make the transition smoother? Law 46. Never appear too perfect. People are naturally envious of those who seem perfect. Greene warns that showing too much perfection can make you a target. Princess Diana, for all her grace and public love, often emphasized her flaws to make herself more relatable to the public, which only increased her popularity. In a world obsessed with perfection, showing your vulnerabilities can make you more human and approachable. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aim for. In victory, learn when to stop. Once you've achieved your goal, Greene advises not to push further than necessary, as overreach can lead to downfall. Example: in business, many entrepreneurs have lost everything because they didn't know when to stop expanding. Success requires knowing when to step back. Are there areas in your life where you're pushing too hard, even after achieving success? Consider when it's time to pause and consolidate your victories. Law 48. Assume formlessness. Greene's final law emphasizes adaptability. The world is constantly changing, and those who can shift and evolve with it will stay on top. Example: the tech industry is full of examples of companies that failed because they couldn't adapt. Think of Blockbuster's downfall, while Netflix thrived by assuming formlessness and adapting to streaming. In a rapidly changing world, are you flexible enough to stay relevant? Those who can't adapt are left behind. As we've seen, the 48 Laws of Power reveals the secrets of power and influence that can fundamentally change the way we navigate life. If you're interested in diving deeper into this topic, I recommend the book Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. This book expands on the idea of influence by teaching you how to set the stage for successful persuasion before the conversation even begins. It's a perfect complement to Greene's Laws of Power and will help you become even more effective in influencing others. If this video inspired you, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Let me know in the comments which of the 48 Laws of Power resonated with you the most. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.